Hello everyone, I'm super thrilled. I've got a very inspiring lady with me. She brought the aesthetic medicine to India, and she's been in this field for more than 3 decades. She's an author, she's the founder of SkinLab India and DJPIMAC, and she's really revolutionized the entire aesthetic industry in India. So welcome Dr. Jamuna Pai. It's truly an honor and privilege to have you with me on this Candid chat.
Thank you, Siddhant, for having me over on your podcast. Thank you so much.
So to begin with, I want to know, when we look back at time in your journey, what emotion dominates more? Is it pride? Is it gratitude? Or is it curiosity? What's coming next?
If you ask me, it's a mix of all three, but in the order, it is a lot of gratitude, because when I started, when I had this very, like my husband would say, a mad idea that I want to do this. I enjoy beauty, I enjoy aesthetics so much in everything. I mean, when you're aesthetically inclined, whether it's laying your table or whether it's, anything that you present has to look pretty. So that was, and I said, I'm a doctor, but I want to do medicine with a twist.
Right.
And this is my passion. So that is how my journey started, with a dream too big, because there was no one before me who had done it. So, and it's not that we were loaded, or both my sides of I was married. So it's not that anyone could help. All they did for me, which helped me a lot, was the support that, I got from my family. But at the end of it all, if you ask me, gratitude beyond everything else, that whatever I dreamt, whatever I thought must be, God gave me like that many times more. So at every moment when things go right, when I've given a very nice structure to a face, when a client goes out happily with a smile, it's just gratitude again and again and again. And I'm that kind of a person. Right. Curiosity has to be there to keep this all alive, to learn more.
So, besides the accolades and the titles, who is Dr. Pai at heart?
Actually, at heart, I'm truly, truly very simple. If you ask my fraternity now, they know me over 30 years. Right. And I may dress like this, but I'm very simple at heart, very curious, because I want to learn more, greedy for knowledge.
Right.
And what I practice, I do very ethically. What I teach, I tell them that is what will take you forward.
Right.
And the true testament is when my so-called competitors, my colleagues and doctors, when I see that adoration and praise for me, that is the ultimate, goal that one wants to be.
Right. You built aesthetic medicine in India, but, when it was not even a conversation in India, that time, but what were the early hurdles and challenges, that you faced? People see the outside success, but what are the challenges, to start something, as a woman entrepreneur? A little bit insights on that.
So the challenges were huge. I mean, you can imagine, I just said that there wasn't money pumped in to say, okay, child, go and do whatever your heart pleases. Right. I had 2 little kids, 8 and 11 at home. I started this later in life. I said, let the children be a little well settled, so that, my mother-in-law, my husband, who were my greatest supports, that they could look after them whilst I chased my dreams. They didn't stop me, they encouraged me. But what the challenges were, that wherever I wanted to go and learn beauty, all of them had these beauty courses which taught hairstyling, waxing, eyebrows, all those kind of things. Because 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when the plan came into my head, there were no, lasers, or there was no injectables, or there was nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
So all there was what I was treating when I started this. Ultimately, I'll tell you the story how I went to UK and came back with some small machines that were used in aesthetics to do a facial. So a doctor, I was there doing facials with tiny machines that promised to take the actives a little deeper inside if you're hydrating, if you're doing something for pigmentation, how it helped the medication to steepen deeper, those kind of things, machines that moisturize, machines that toned, Today you have multiple this thing that give the electromagnetic stimulation to muscles. So today, those days, there was those tiny machines that at the origin and insertion of a muscle, you had to hold the 2 points and it contracted and relaxed because of the current, and toned that muscle and made the face tighter. So these kind of tiny machines, I went, learnt, and came back. And I said I had to do something different. I can't go,
Yeah.
with due respect, I can't go to a salon level being a doctor.
Yeah.
So then that's how I started. And all I was doing was treating dry skin, treating problems of pigmentation, mostly acne and acne scars and hair fall. Four things, nothing beyond that.
Okay.
So the challenges were that what I learned in the UK, you can imagine it's just all white skin, Caucasian
yeah.
skin. They don't have that layer of pigmentation that protects our skin all the time. Of course, the thing that people don't like, they didn't like till recently, that we used to get dark or we were the skin of color. Today, there's a label for us. So they didn't like that. But what was taught to us was, to me, when I went there, was completely on Caucasian skin. And so later also, when new lasers came in, later, as you know how much advancement there is in the last 35 years. So every week, every 2 weeks, there's a new machine, there's a new laser promising something, skin tightening, removal of pigmentation completely, removal of scars, tightening the body lasers, etc. But those days, the challenges were they taught us on Caucasian skin. I came very naive, used it on skin of color, that's our skin types, and they don't have melanin, so anything heat or light touching the skin, it immediately, when you go out in the sun, how you tend to tan. What does the tan mean? The melanin from the lower layer, when the sun falls on the skin, has come up as a protective mechanism. So you come back tanned.
Right.
Over a period of time, if you're still not exposed, it just goes away. Now, this tan, people don't like, but there what happens is they can use the largest energy because it reaches the collagen of the skin to tighten.
Okay.
If I use that, my melanin comes up, I use that big high energy and it burns the skin.
Okay.
So I had lots of challenges. All the Caucasian, this thing, I had to change the protocol to suit the Indian skin by making mistakes, by losing my clients.
Right.
Obviously, if I made mistakes, if I caused even superficial burns, that of course went with care and treatment. But I lost a lot of clients. I learned the hard way. I learned that a facial was completely different from people who had acne.
Right.
And that was ultimately, I coined it as a cleanup. Today, everybody uses the word cleanup. Because I realized that even when the client with acne, mild acne came, my girls, I had 1 or 2 therapists, they were using the cream and they were activating the oil glands more.
Right.
So with oily skin or with acne-prone skin, you have to remove the offending agent. You have to remove the oils.
Right.
In dry skin, a skin like mine, or even a normal skin like yours, we need hydration, and more hydration. So you need to put, and here you need to remove. So they were two opposite sides of the scale, which I had put all into one. So all these things I learned as time went by. And so the challenges, I can name 100. When I brought the first laser machine, how I just went in and believed the vendor again. When I went to train for it abroad, it was all on Caucasian skin types. Again, I brought it, took a 5 years bank, EMIs and huge EMI proportionate to my practice. And it stopped working. It didn't work for our skin types. Again, after 4 or 5 cases, the vendor wouldn't take it back. So I paid for the 5 years, but I didn't use the machine. So made it up to the clients. It was tough. But today, yes, if I look back, I feel it was all worth it.
People normally, when they talk about beauty, they talk about the outside beauty. No one talks about the inner beauty. I want to know, like a lot of people, can aesthetic medicine help emotional scars or just mask it for a short time?
So it is very important here to realize what the client has actually come for. So that's why we elicit this in our long history. I talk to them for about between 30 and 45 minutes just listening. And somewhere, maybe it's my maturity, maybe I've seen the world at 70, and I know what they're trying to say, but what they're saying, they're two different things. What I'm getting from the history is that there is some kind of emotional baggage, there is some kind of insecurity that they're carrying in. But what they're presenting is that, my lines are this thing, or my neck is not matching my face, or I think my face has become dark over time. They're not thinking that it's a hormonal shift that has happened. They're so insecure about it. So you have to see what it is and try and heal their inner side
Right.
by making that slight change, which gives them the confidence then,
Right.
and to think that they've overcome this. And walk. And actually, when you're saying no to so many treatments, guiding them properly, they become your friends
Yeah.
lifelong. And even if other people promise lesser prices for
Yeah.
this thing, or they promise better machines, etc., bigger clinics, they don't fall for it. They know
Right.
this is the center. I will trust this is the center.
Right. I would also want you to share some insights on SkinLab India and DJPIMAC, which you've started. It was just not a business, it's an ecosystem in its own. So, would you like to say something on that, with your clinic?
So I, as a doctor, started the first clinic in Bandra where I lived, close
Right.
by, a very tiny clinic, emotionally attached to it because it brought
Yeah.
me a lot of good name, fame, money. So, but started one more in North Mumbai, and one Mumbai is like this, South Mumbai.
Yeah.
So I had the 3 clinics and I worked as a doctor, divided my week. I worked on Sundays also. The first 3.5 years, I worked even on Sundays.
Okay.
One is my passion. One is because there was nobody, so there was a huge demand
Right.
from clients that there is someone where we can safely go because she's a doctor even. So the SkinLab story, it was blush at that time when I started. And of course, there was no looking back once I made the decision. And once an article was written in the Times of India about this doctor who's dared to do something different. So there were people, even, ministers flying from Delhi
Yeah.
and to seek this doctor in that small clinic,
Yeah.
etc. I worked as a doctor, and that happened for almost from 94. I started my first clinic till about 2005, 6, 7, 4. We moved into a bigger clinic.
Right.
But around 2007, my husband was stricken with cancer, and then I lost him in 2008. That's when my son, who was doing his business in business management in UK, he came to help me out with my younger son.
Okay.
Came to help me out with my husband. And then he realized that, he was just sitting there because he was not allowed to go out. We were home. So he looked around and he realized that there's more to it.
Right.
And then started working with us. And after my husband passed away, he, wanted to help. And it is his brainchild that he said, why don't we? By which time I'd opened for the weekends after my husband passed away. I was quite young. It was 18 years now.
Right.
So we opened in Pune.
Okay.
So that every Friday after work I would leave, and by Sunday night would come back. And Pune had a roaring business then. So it gave me that much satisfaction and kept me busy the whole week. The weekend was for my family. And so slowly from there, he said, why don't we? So many inquiries came about, even from Dubai, those days. Dubai, we just started less than 2 years ago.
Okay.
But we had a lot of inquiries. And then over a period of time, in 2011, he started franchising, the first center being Delhi, to cut a long story short.
Right.
And then this is our 17th center now, including one international one in Dubai, which we opened a 1.5 years ago. And of course, we have many, as we speak, we have at least 50 of them listed waiting for smaller and bigger cities.
Oh, wow.
And 3 of them which we have confirmed, which are Bhubaneswar, Raipur, and Coimbatore. Coimbatore is opening next.
Okay.
So then, of course, there'll be many more, I'm sure, once. It's but somewhere along the line, we realized that blush was when I started, those days when my husband and I sat together, wondering what name to give us. Salon may be run by a doctor, so blush seemed appropriate, healthy skin, pink skin. But over a period of time, when technology came in, lasers came in, cutting edge, science came in. So we decided to name it something else. We came across SkinLab, skin and lab because there's so much of research and
Right.
going on that in that space. And we took, of course, a feedback from all our loyal clients, and they just loved the idea, so it became SkinLab.
Okay.
And today, like I told you, it is 17. And today we have DJPIMAC. I love to teach. I impart a lot of this thing, and all the mistakes that I have made, I tell them that you, by coming to my center, you're at a higher launching pad. You don't have to go through all this because I'm there today.
Yeah.
For me, there was no one before me.
Right.
So I had to make my mistakes and learn. So that turned out very well till COVID struck. And then the batches became smaller. We were taking smaller batches anyway. 10, 12. The highest was 15 or 16 a few times. But otherwise, we paid individual attention. And but now we have smaller batches. We're thinking of having an online course because that suits women mostly.
Right.
We do have men, boys coming in for training, but mostly it is women who are passionate about this and who have been inspired maybe by me.
Right.
So that is about the DJPIMAC, Dr. Jamuna Pai's Institute of Medical and Aesthetic Technology.
I'm truly getting inspired just being with you here and chatting with you, and your journey's been so phenomenal. So, it's so many learnings that even I'm taking back, with me today. So my next question would be, in today's generation, if we talk about the Gen Zs or the younger generation, filters and social media, where do you think beauty's become unrealistic in this time?
Exactly what you have said, because that's the world that the Gen Z lives in.
Right.
I mean, you can see them scrolling, you can see them do these things in airplanes and at airports. I see them also so into Instagram and other online, portals. So they're using a lot of filter, even for their own photos, what they post.
Right.
So they want that in reality, which can't happen. We know it's not true. However beautifully, genetically, you're all there. The filter makes you look that much better.
Right.
And they are driven to different kind of beauty cultures, whether with due respect to K-beauty. I mean, they have their own science. See, everything has to be evidence-based. Everything has to be science-based. Only science to say, I know that this works like this, but show me proof that it has worked for 2,000 people across different, across the globe. So that is evidence-based. You have to practice. So if you just read somewhere, go see an influencer using something and then go at such a tender age where you need to protect your skin against anything that is happening outside, against the environment, against stress, against your hormones you're fighting. So instead of protecting, cleansing, hygiene, sunscreen, maybe a niacinamide serum, we don't need 9 layers one on top of the other. So I think it has played havoc for them. The parents come absolutely, utterly dismayed and not knowing what to do, confused at how to deal with that. It is true.
Yeah.
You're right.
I want to also know, instead of me today sitting, if it would be a younger Dr. Jamuna Pai sitting here, what would you whisper to her?
That question is really very cute.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of 32 or 35 years ago.
Yeah.
If there was, I would tell her, I'm a very impulsive person by nature.
Okay.
So I would tell that person, the younger Jamuna Pai, don't be impulsive, be patient, be curious, go out there, look at, compare prices, which my son does now. He's done his management. I used to go by heart. Anyone say anything, I believe them outright. I said, okay, will you please send me 1 machine? Those days I had 3. Instead of trying 1 machine in 1 clinic, I said 3 bhejo. That kind of a Jamuna Pai. Don't make those mistakes because you are working very hard for your money. So don't be impulsive. Don't go by trends. Not that I go by trends, but that you can cut.
Right.
So I would say don't be impulsive. Look into what you're buying.
Right.
Remain as ethical as I have been.
Yeah.
So that is the only way that you're going to create your legacy, a name behind. Because what you want in a shortcut, or where you have taken a lifetime to create a legacy with one wrong move, undisciplined move, or a move to make quick money or something like that.
Right.
Will just bring down that whole house of cards.
Right.
So if that was the way I wanted to take, I would have had more than 100 centers by now,
Right.
That was not the way I wanted to take. Each center taken, worked hard into, made sure that the partners that we have are people who care about this. It have the same kind of passion and care
Right.
And believe one thing, that most of the franchisees that I have,
Yeah.
partners that I have, they've all been my clients before they came in and asked for the franchise. So they have been inspired by me. That is one. Second is that we check that it is a good family that I'm giving my baby to.
Right. No, it's probably also the trust you've built for so many years. You know,
right.
it's difficult to build that kind of bond and trust.
Yeah.
So so kudos to you first of all on this amazing journey once again. I want to also know, suppose you have to give a message, especially to, I believe in women empowerment. So if today any women wants to start their own startup, what is that one message, or what are the kind of attributes one must have to have a successful startup? Because I also believe that, see, a lot of people think failure is the end, but I think failure is just a stepping stone
right.
to success. So, what is the kind of advice directly from you to the people who's going to be watching this podcast you'd like to say?
So I would definitely say that if you have researched something, I had not researched. For me, it was a dream. It was my dream. But don't get scared to chase the dream.
Yeah.
There are institutions today helping you out with money. You have partners coming in, whatever. But go, and however difficult the road ahead is, do it correctly. Because if you do it wrongly, you're lost, and nobody's there to follow. You're doing it for a reason, right? So then just go and do it. Don't lose. There will be failures around. But these are not failures, like you said, to step back. It is just to egg you on, to go forward, make you stronger. Because from those failures, you learn so many lessons. Like I told you what I learned, one or two things. So that makes you so strong that whatever later on you learn after you have established yourself, you can face any problem and be calm, because you have done the journey with difficulties, number one. Number two, building like I said, you have worked so hard to build whatever you have dreamt. You have got challenges, and then for a small thing, don't be on that right path. Come whatever. So if there are any temptations that are kind of looking at you, don't get tempted if it is a wrong temptation, and just go along your trodden path, because that is where you're going to stay. That is where you're going to leave behind the legacy of all your hard work that you've put in. So some weaknesses, I mean, you're human, but guard against that.
That's a beautiful message, in fact. Now that leads me to a quick rapid fire, just to know you more personally. So I'm going to just ask you these quick questions, and I'll expect some quick answers from your side.
Sure, I hope I'm quick.
So my first one would be, what is that one mantra you stand by?
One mantra I stand by. Like I said, come what may, I will not shift from what my thought process is, from my ethics is, and I will not stop learning. I'm still, even at this age, I'll be going to Monaco on the international platform to teach and to learn, to discuss, to share information. So if you're not curious, then you stop there, you stagnate. So I always believe that the ladder has many more steps, and I've not really reached the top. The moment, Siddhant, you feel you have reached the top, I'm this age, I've achieved this, I've done it alone. Today I've got thousands of people doing it. I have reached the top. Then where do I go? The next thing is coming down. There is nothing up. So for me, that is very important. That being curious, being ethical, being what do you say? Being in gratitude always.
And passionate.
And passionate even today. Look at me sitting opposite you.
That's what I was going to say. And passionate.
And passionate. And another thing that I wanted to add for women who are, always I tell my students this, always dream so big. I was from a simple family, but my dream was so big. So even if you achieve, God has been kind and given me more than I dreamt. I had a limitation to my dream maybe, but don't have a limitation. Dream so big that even if you're able to achieve 50% of that dream, because it is so big, you're way ahead of anybody else who's even begun to think, So that way, then you'll achieve much more. Of course, you have to work towards it, but that's what happens. So I think everybody should do that. I tell all my students that.
Okay.
Think big and work towards it.
Okay. Luxury or legacy? What's more important?
Legacy, of course.
Okay.
Because can legacy, you tell me, Siddhant, you're into a big businessman and a multifaceted person.
Right.
Can money buy legacy?
No.
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 Money can buy luxury.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely legacy, which is built in a nice way, which is respected by the world. All people who know you, obviously.
It can be Hollywood or Bollywood. If today there was a biopic made on your journey, who do you think would play it best?
Oh God, that question I didn't expect. Who would play my biopic well? I would like any good-looking actress because they are acting. I've actually done it. So anybody, I'm very fond of Deepika. Maybe I would have loved her to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. If you were given one superpower, it could be anything, what would you use it for?
Make the world happy, because anyone who is yearning for something, just be able to take my wand and just be God if God allowed me to be his assistant.
What is your current favorite read, which you're enjoying reading right now?
Actually, I'm reading fiction, this thing, The Litigators by Grisham.
Okay.
But otherwise I used to like thrillers. Those days when I had time, I could read from one page to the last. But yeah.
Right. In today's time, a lot of people have a lot of stress. They don't know how to deal with stress.
Of course.
But I believe that music therapy is also one kind of way which you can help people. But what is when you're stressed? What is the kind of genre of music which you go to?
So I listen to a lot of spiritual listening messages, and sometimes podcasts, but not always. I start meditating or saying my prayers to go into that mode. Or I just go by this one line that when things are tough, when I feel a little bit of a tight corner, I say that things could have been worse. And I tell that again to anyone who I consult with. I said, you're talking about these problems. Ultimately, they say, I've lost my husband and this has happened. And then quietly I say, do you know that I lost my husband when I was 53. I've lived alone now 18 years. But luckily work was there. You have to be passionate about. So that is how I kind of go around helping people. And what is this thing? I enjoy Pilates. I'm very passionate about that. And at my age, I think a little combination, it's strength training. So we need strength training of course, it's always, we see all young actors, I see, doing Pilates with me. But I do a little bit of weights and a little bit of Pilates. It gives me a lot of peace. The day I have done it, I feel really happy that I have earned it and I have, done it for myself.
Lovely.
Music, I like old Hindi music. That just elevates me to another level.
Right. I'm too much into old school. Even I love old school stuff. So, you just have to complete the sentence. What, according to Dr. Jamuna Pai, is like beauty beyond skin? If you have to complete it, what would you say?
Beauty beyond skin is you're talking about the beyond skin. What is it has to be a beautiful person, not to go with a beautiful skin. You can't just have a beautiful skin and not a good
person.
A good person at heart and from the inside out.
And my last closing question for today's episode would be, I would like you to share some insights about the book that you've written.
Oh, that book, that Siddhant, is a very good question, because another podcaster, she had the book and she read it, and she's much younger. She's on Shark Tank and all that. So she said, what people are discussing today so much about gut health and inflammation. She's saying, you've written 12, 13 years ago. And that was only because my husband, I told you, was detected with cancer. And so many people came, and one person came, he's a big dietitian today. And he was treating with food. So I said, how can he treat with food? I started reading about it. Being a doctor, it was easier. We didn't have ChatGPT. We didn't have any of these stuff. So I started reading, speaking to Ayurvedic doctors. What is removal of those toxins that they were doing? What is alkalization of a tissue? Do you know that when we are unhealthy, when our lifestyle is bad, our tissue becomes acidic? You have gone through your journey yourself. You have written a book. Our acidic tissue is inflammatory. So any inflammation within your tissue, and gut is where all your problem starts.
Right.
Why? Because as you are being created, the embryo that is formed before the human is created, the gut is formed first. From the gut, you won't believe, even the limbs and everything is formed from that central core.
Right.
So if my knees are paining, I'm a case of osteoarthritis with one knee replacement done. But if food was to help, if my lifestyle change was to help, they would treat my gut. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So all those connections I have written in the book.
Okay.
That how skin renewal can be improved. I've given many home remedies in that.
Okay.
So how toning of the muscle. People talk about their slackening necks, about anti-aging. Today we have HIFU, we have RF technology, we have so many things, endolift, etc. But those days, I mean, I wrote for people who it would benefit everybody who doesn't even want to spend, who can't go out for any reason.
Yeah.
So home remedies where exfoliation from your home things can remove the dead skin cell layers, give you a glowing skin.
Right.
How often it needs to be done medically. You can't take your skin and scrub it every day with something coarse, because then it'll become sensitive. Then it'll catch on the sunlights and you'll get pigmentation. So all that, caution with caution.
Okay.
Then many things. Facial yoga I had covered. It's not that I used to do it, but common sense told me.
Right.
Friends' advices.
Right.
Then how you should take nutritional supplements, why they are important. Everything I've covered in that book.
Okay. And where can someone get that book? Where is it available?
You can get it on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Yeah, on Amazon. And all the profits that are, that time only it was committed to the acid victim survivors.
Oh, wow.
All the profits that come from that book.
It's a lovely
So
cause.
we
that
had lots of celebrities who came and launched the book with me.
Lovely. Thank you so much. That ends the episode today. It was such a lovely time chatting with you and sharing your insights, with the viewers today. And especially, it's inspired me. I'm taking a lot of learnings when I'm going from here. So thank you once again for giving the time
Thank you
and
for
doing
having
this.
me
Thank you so
over.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.